Let's go back to kind of your cosmopolitan international background. Very interesting that
Yes.
your mom is from Morocco, your dad
Hmm.
is from Germany, and you're born in Texas, and you've
Hmm.
studied kind of all over the world. So, tell us a little bit about your academic journey, and then maybe let's start off a little bit about like what started the curiosity. Was it books, parents, a cool uncle? Like what happened with the curiosity?
Yeah. So my parents are what I would call very first generation.
Mhm.
Like don't even have US citizenship, both have really strong accents. I used to have a strong accent, but then it was like Texas in the late 90s and they thought I had a speech impediment because I pronounced like duh, like dirty das in German.
Right, right, right.
So I unfortunately don't have an accent now unless I'm like feeling really passionate. Um, but no, actually, my interest, I've always been a huge animal lover. I was 15 cats, dogs. We used to rescue wild animals all the time. I trained horses, but I was
Okay.
actually not very, I was like the opposite of kind of like a teal fellow, tiger teenager, building things in the garage. I was actually a total truant. I went really only to my art classes. I was in the bottom 10 of the high school.
Mhm.
I was like actually fundamentally incredibly unmotivated. I missed my math final because I got drunk the night before in like a ditch, which my math teacher was really unhappy about.
Right, right.
um, but then, so I got into uni for or UT Austin for art school, and I got like a full ride to go do that. But then the summer before I was about to start my undergrad career, for reasons that I really don't know why, I decided to go do a internship in a neuro-oncology clinic. I think because I was like very artistically interested in the brain. I thought like brain MRI scans, especially, were incredibly gorgeous. I just was curious to see it real. And I basically, like the long story short, I had a bit of an existential crisis. I kind of always thought that doctors were magical, that if you like tried and worked hard, that you'd be able to, fix whatever is wrong with somebody. And I just met a number of terminal brain cancer patients who kind people like sitting in front of me and just knowing that they were going to die. And like there's nothing anybody could do. It didn't matter how much money or effort or time or care. They were done no matter what they like wanted to do in their life going forward. And it just totally freaked me out, honestly. I was just
Right,
like,
right.
wow, like how can anybody live with this knowledge?
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and so I switched from art school to neuroscience, which we were very unhappy about. And I really didn't have any exposure to Silicon Valley, like, the kind of career paths that you have here. So I thought I was going to be a doctor. I was a really like, I was a Tiger pre-med student for a little bit. Then I thought I was going to be a researcher. I spent my entire 4 years in the lab. I started a PhD at Oxford in economics of gene therapy. So basically looking at the economics of expensive preventative medicines and trying to understand how different
Hmm.
healthcare systems are able to handle or not handle therapeutics of that type, and then basically realized that academia was not really for me for a number of reasons I'm like happy to get into, but kind of just came down to like the cultural aspects. Honestly, Oxford's a
Hmm.
very conservative institution,
Hmm.
despite being a fun place to be at. So I dropped out, went to go work with Laura Deming at the Longevity Fund. And I didn't really know what venture capital was, but I was attracted to it because it seemed like a diversified theory of impact, right? So if you facilitate 20 companies working on aging, three of them make it, and that they help 5 million patients, you're some portion of that, right? It was a cool way to be one to many in terms of your impact on human health. And like that, being at Laura, was Laura for about 2 years. I still work with her today. Was really when I learned all about like everything, right? Like I
Right,
learned all
right.
about Silicon Valley and building companies, and that you can you not do whatever you want in terms of like a biological ethics stance, but in terms of like the rules are not actually, like many of the rules are not real in terms of like you have to have like these letters behind your name to do X, Y, and Z in terms of like building
Hmm.
stuff. And yeah, I haven't gone into more, but basically got the idea for Loyal while I was at Longevity Fund, left Longevity Fund, started Loyal, and been going on that ever since.